This Liberty Sports Update is brought to you by Beacon Credit Union.
All right, Coach, just kind of give us an idea how practice has gone here the last few days since we last talked to you.
Well, I think the last time we talked, we're getting ready to have a scrimmage. The scrimmage, we had about 90 plays. I think we had a really great evaluation. When you have 90 plays, you have a great opportunity to see a lot of people do a lot of different things. Had about, I think, 7 sacks there from the defensive perspective. That was outstanding. They got 1 turnover. They had 3 3-and-outs. I think they really did a pretty good job there on third down. I think they only really had, I think it was 81% where they did not convert on third down. The offense did not. They were 2 for, I guess the plus on the offensive side, they were 5 out of 7 on fourth down, so that tells you that we went for it quite a bit on fourth down. And so in a lot of those situations, you may have been punting from an offensive from a defensive perspective, but we ended up going for it a few times. I had about 7, 8 touchdowns as far as with the offensive perspective, so there was productivity on both sides of the ball. So I was pleased to see the things, and the things I was really pleased with, we only had, I think it was 3 penalties, 2 on offense, 1 on defense. There was 1 turnover as far as only from an offensive perspective. Yeah, on defense you maybe want more, but overall, like I said, it was an overall great scrimmage because we got a chance to see a lot of different people, a lot of different things going on, and it was good to see.
What sort of game-type situations are you working on replicating right now the first week or so?
Well, the past week we didn't really go a whole lot on, if you want to say situational football. We're doing a little bit of that this week. You talk about really going into 4-minute. You talk about 2-minute. You talk about on the backed out, coming out, those kind of things. So we'll get into more of that now. Then next week we'll continue to do those things. Try to get them at least 2 or 3 times throughout the whole camp. So therefore we've covered everything we need to cover. Special teams, you got to cover all those different situations. So we're each day kind of choosing 1 or 2 different things as far as special teams and on the field as far as that goes. So we're in the middle of it.
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask you how much you've been working on special teams and how that varies from day to day.
Well, special teams works on every day. We're always working on 1 phase. Today we're kind of doing a 2 phase. Today we got a little bit of punt in the beginning. We'll do about 18 to 20 minutes, and so usually 7 to 8 minutes on 1 phase and 10 minutes or so on the other phase. So we're definitely hitting it every single day. As far as PAT field goes, you got punt, kickoff return, all those different phases we hit them. And again, you're going to be probably trying to hit them at least 30 times as far as when we finish up. When we play on September 1st, we should have hit them about 28 to 30 times.
Didn't show a lot of plays Saturday in the open scrimmage for Fan Fest. What did you like about the defense in that game with 2 interceptions on the defensive line?
Well, defense did a good job on getting the turnover, so it's great to see our secondary be able to catch the football and make something happen as far as interceptions. That's huge. We do a little bit more of when we're evaluating people. We kind of wonder, do they have good hands? We're trying to say we want guys that can catch the football. You usually say, well, the receivers, they're going to be on the offensive side. But on defense, we're saying, does he have the ability to catch the football? If he has the ability to catch the football, then that even rises his situation for us to offer him a scholarship. So we are recruiting a little bit different than what we maybe did the first 2 or 3 years.
When you said during spring there's going to be a debate whether you're going to redshirt Mason Cunningham and have Landon Brown, Brandon Robinson back up Buckshot. Through the scrimmages, did you see anything that would suggest leaning one way or the other?
No, I mean, we're going to continue to go again. We've got 2 or 3 more opportunities as far as us getting a live action as far as a scrimmage and all those things. And we'll make a decision when it gets closer toward the first ball game and decide what we need to do. And it still may not be decided even after the first ball game or before the first ball game. Again, I think with the 4-game new rule comes into play, it changes things. As we all know in the back of our head, you can play a guy in a game and you still can redshirt him. So we won't make a decision totally at the beginning of the season and say, hey, we're going to redshirt X, Y, Z. And that's going to happen throughout our whole roster.
With 2 scrimmages and 2 practices last talk, how's the health of this team?
Well, I think the health is all good. We got bumps and bruises. But again, I think just like Irons is the only guy that's really going to be out for the season. Everybody else, we'll be ready to roll.
You said from the defensive side you got a bunch of sacks the other day. Is that an area that you want to see improved, just in defensive improvement, being able to get pressure on the quarterback?
Well, yeah, and it may not be just with sacks, hurries. We're counting those and keep track of those things because that causes turnovers and all those things of that nature. So I'm expecting better play out of our defensive line. I think we're going to be better this year, and partly just because we're going to have a lot more depth, and we do have some talent there, and we'll see what happens.
What about on the offensive side with the tight ends and the fullbacks? I remember Coach Daly saying something about that on Media Day, that they were going to be utilized more this year. Is that something that you and your staff have kind of sat down and emphasized a little bit with the offensive game plan?
Well, I think we feel good about the talent that we have there. There's still some adjustment that needs to be made with all those guys. And the young guy there with Fidel Obathan is going to be a sophomore. You got Jerome Jackson that's going to be – he was redshirted last year, going to be playing. Chris Barrett, a new guy in there. And you got Zach Fouts, a steady guy that can make plays for us. And then we got Mitchell Lewis and Bollinger, kind of the tight end fullback. Those 6 guys right there, they're going to probably be in the mix and playing quite a bit, and we're going to utilize them. And, sometimes a game may go into it that we're going to use them more. Sometimes you go in the game and you may have to make adjustments, but I guarantee you we're going to have some tight ends in the ball game, and they're going to make plays for us, not only from blocking but also pass receiving and doing all the things they need to do.
Last thing here, just kind of give us a preview of the next scrimmage coming up and what you want to see get hit on.
Well, like I just mentioned to him, I said this is the last time that everybody's going to get evaluated as far as reps. On Saturday, we're going to have a scrimmage, and then we'll decide, and there will be some reps that will be cut, reduced by some of the people, and some people may not get any reps as we move forward here in the last 2 weeks for our preparation for the game. So we got to start making some decisions and preparing the guys that we believe are going to be able to help us play and be successful on the football field. And so that's what we're going to do. It's true going to be an evaluation. We'll get in the last 2 weeks a little bit more specific in situational football, particularly because we'll have the guys who are going to be playing in the game. They'll be getting those quality reps.
Only the second week, but defense is a huge part of your game plan. You want to get better. What's the biggest improvement you've seen so far?
I think the biggest improvement I've seen so far is really the guys have been on their assignments. They've been doing a very, very good job of knowing how to line up. I think they got fast. I like that they're able to line up. There's been less mental reps, or mental mistakes, I should say. And then there's been a great opportunity for guys to rally into the football with our speed. I think we've got a fast defense. I like that. That's what I always have wanted to make sure that we get more speed than size. That's the way I like to play the game on the defensive side of the ball.